Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Ryan, for those of you joining for the first time today. Alright guys, the annual shareholders meeting was yesterday, and I was able to catch a good portion of it. I think I missed just the first little bit, but I was able to hear everything that I wanted to hear, and I am going to just talk to you real quick about what I thought about it, and we'll go from here. But again, we will just continue down this path. Today was green. It was 12.43% up. Right towards the end of trading, it was climbing up towards that daily high, and then it finished about 20 cents less than what the daily high was. So all in all, it was a good day. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I think there's a lot that could happen tomorrow, especially with Roaring Kitty going live. We have seen what it does. We've seen where it's going, and it's incredible the amount of fear that you can see in some of these institutions, hedge funds, brokers' eyes with him being back and in the forefront of a lot of people's minds. All right, guys, one thing that I want to say about this meeting is that there was only 18.5% of retail traders that voted. There's a lot of people that talk bad about things online or that say, oh, I want this or I want that. But if only 18.5% of people actually voted, that is crazy. And then they also came out and said that of the 18.5% of people that voted, the overwhelming majority voted yes on some of these things. Now, some of them didn't have enough votes to go through, so that they couldn't happen. And we'll talk about that in a minute. I'm going to run through quickly just what that was. But guys, if you want a voice, use it. You have a voice in this, use it. If you didn't get a proxy, if you didn't get the voting material, you need to email, you need to reach out and do something. They're not going to do it for you, right? Like it's the brokers that are supposed to send it to you. So you need to do your job and reach out there as well, especially if you're somebody who is trying to talk bad about it. I just think that it just doesn't make sense to me to not try to, use your voice that you have been given. All right, guys, the proposals 1, 3, 4, and 5 all did not have enough votes to actually get voted on. So effectively, they were no's. It's one of those, like, it's a no because there wasn't enough people in there to vote on it. So who knows what would have happened if more people got on there and voted, but those ones all got voted no. Those were to declassify the board, to take away the prohibition of shareholders from taking action with written consent, to allow shareholders to call special meetings, and to remove the liability of certain officers in the company. All of those did not go through. All right. Vote number 2, had vote number 1 passed, vote number 2 would have went different ways. So in vote number 2, it was about revoting in a couple of the members on the board to serve a now 3-year term instead of the 1-year terms that they were asking for. And all of those board members got voted in yes again. Number 6 was the Ernst & Young vote, and that got voted yes. The compensation plan got voted no. There's a lot of people that talk about their compensation, and only 17% of people voted for that one. So again, if you're going to say something about something, do something about it in writing and don't just say it. I think we all feel that way. And then the equity positions vote, proposal 8, got voted yes. So some were yeses, some were no's. The ones that were no's, again, were because there weren't enough people to actually vote, to actually consider it to be a vote. Some of the other things that were talked about in the meeting that I wanted to bring up and talk to you about. There was a question about debt and whether or not Adam Aaron feels the same way about debt now as he did in 2022. And he said that, of course, he always thinks about debt. He is the CEO of the company, and he has to always consider the debt. He pointed out that over the last 2 years, they've paid about $1 billion worth of debt. He also said that in after 2020, after COVID happened, AMC borrowed $2 billion, and it wasn't the given $2 billion. It wasn't given to them. It wasn't the PPE loans and all the government money that was getting, because AMC didn't take those. This was money that they borrowed. They borrowed $2 billion. The interesting part is that AMC currently has less net debt than they did in 2019. So after COVID killed the industry, there's less debt because they're doing their jobs at renegotiating debt, talking it down, paying it off for lower amounts, and refinancing it. All of the things that are there. While we're on this topic of what they do there, and I don't care if you guys call me an Adam Aaron, whatever you want to say about Adam Aaron, it doesn't matter to me. I don't think he's doing a bad job at his job as the CEO. I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. In 1996, he was brought on as the CEO of Vail Resorts, and he left that in 2006. The company went public in 1997. And in 1997, the company was worth $213 million. During the year of 2006, the company was worth anywhere between $1.08 billion and $1.62 billion. And that is a tremendous increase in value in the company during the time Adam Aaron was helping to run that company. In 2007, the number went from anywhere between 1.44 billion and 1.98 billion. So that was after he left, which it shows that he just carried things over. And then, of course, 2008, nobody wants to do that kind of stuff because nobody has money, so it doesn't matter, but he wasn't there anymore, right? My point is that he is doing his job to renegotiate debt and to continue to do things good for the company, right? We've had so many good earnings reports in a time where the box office numbers are still 25 to 35% less than they were in 2019. So if AMC is doing really good, but the box office is doing bad, it shows that management is doing their jobs properly to make sure that the company is doing well. And you guys need to realize that, okay? Another thing is that he talked about retail versus institutions and the ownership of AMC. And if you include the institutions that have index funds where they are required to have a certain amount of shares, retail shareholders hold anywhere between 75 and 85% of the stock. And the institutions, including index funds, hold 25 to 15%, right? If you remove the index funds and you talk about only the shareholders versus the index funds that are not required and the institutions that are not required to hold a certain amount of stock, retail still holds more than 90% of the float. Even at 75% or 85%, retail still owns the float. Guys, we know this. We've owned the float for a long time, and we're not going to stop because we always continue to buy, and we know that we own more than one float. All right? I'm looking forward to seeing what happens tomorrow. I'm looking forward to seeing where this continues to go, and I'm just here to see what happens, and I know you are too. Guys, stay positive, stay motivated, stay motivating, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks. Bye.